The next thing we're going to discuss is conducting an ambush. Okay, so as you can see here, we've already established our ORP on this mission. We have our road, and we have where we think the enemy is coming from. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is from the ORP, we have to conduct our leader's recon. All right, now it's very important who you take on your leader's recon, so we're going to write down everyone that comes on the leader's recon. All right, leader's recon. All right, so the PL has to go. Very important, right? PL, RTO. PL's got to be able to talk back to his ORP and his company commander. You also got to think about who are we bringing on this? What do we have to establish? You have to establish a assault, a support by fire, and a security element. So it's probably very intelligent that you bring all of those squad leaders. So you're going to have security squad leader, assault squad leader, and support squad leader. Squad leader. All right, and you also have to have an S&O, a security and observation team. All right, so your S&O consists of 2 personnel. Usually you bring a 249 and an M4 gunner that count as your S&O. So this right here is the minimum number of people that you need to bring. So count them out: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is the minimum number of people that you need to bring on your leader's recon. All right, now if you wanted to plus them up, if you're short on time, which is really the only reason why you should do it any different. If you're short on time, you can actually bring this entire security squad with you to go ahead and place them in their security positions on the ambush as we move forward. But this is only if you're under a time constraint, okay? So at minimum, you need 7, and we'll teach you ambush based on bringing those 7 people. Okay, we've identified our leader's recon. Now, as we've identified our leader's recon, we call them into the center of our ORP. The PL gives the platoon sergeant a gatwa and gives him specific orders on fixing the security now that we've pulled some people out of it. And they begin movement to go conduct their leader's recon. Platoon sergeant goes to whatever edge of the triangle he needs to go to count everyone out. That is part of his responsibilities. So as we conduct our leader's recon, platoon sergeant counts us out. The very first thing we look for on the leader's recon is our release point, okay? Our release point. It is called a release point because everyone remains here while we do our individual steps of the recon of the ambush and establishment of the ambush. Okay, so everyone's going to stay here. This needs to be something that's easily identifiable. And I don't mean a dead tree or a burned tree or a tree that forms an X or a Y. It needs to be something that you guys and everyone can see no matter what. Probably a tree is not a good idea, but you can take your knife and carve the bark off of a tree, and then that could be a good representation. You can tie maybe a PT belt if you're not close to any roads or big major terrain features. You can use terrain features. You can tie 2 sticks in the form of an X around that tree. It's very noticeable to you, but may not be noticeable to the enemy. Your release point should be out of sight and sound from the objective. So either a major terrain feature or maybe 200 meters. Out of sight and sound is where your release point goes. Okay, now our whole leader's recon stays at the release point while we go and place our very first position, which is the S&O. So the PL, the RTO, takes the S&O to establish the S&O. Security and observation. All right, the S&O's job is to get eyes on the objective and to allow the PL to identify his kill zone. So the S&O is responsible to make sure that nothing changes on the objective while we are out doing our recon, and also updates us, takes notes, and provides the PL with some type of warning. Let's just say if we were over here doing a recon and someone comes down the road, the S&O can give us early warning, or vice versa. That is all the S&O's responsibilities. So once we establish the S&O and the PL identifies his kill zone, so let's just say this is the kill zone that we've identified, the PL goes back to the release point and picks up his security squad leader, because security is the next thing we in place. So S&O, you got release points number 1, S&O's number 2, security is going to be number 3. So he takes the security squad leader with him. The weapons squad leader and the assault squad leader stay at the release point. He goes and recons both security positions with the security squad leader. The security squad leader identifies where he wants to place his security. All right, so remember, security's job is to provide early warning, not to get into a firefight, not to engage anyone, but to provide early warning. So they need to be in a position to where they can actually do that. So you go and you recon both of these positions. Once again, the security squad leader either needs to take down the grid or make sure he leaves something that's easily identifiable so he knows where to go back. Because if you do run out of time and the PL can't emplace both of these, then they're going to have to emplace themselves and they need something there so they can identify. All right, so step 3 is security. We recon the security. Then the PL goes back, drops off the security squad leader, grabs the weapons squad leader, and we go recon where we want to do our support by fire. So let's just say maybe we want to do it right here. All right, so we're going to recon that support by fire. So that's step 4. Okay? Then from step 4, we're going to move in, go back, drop off the weapons squad leader, pick up the assault squad leader, and identify where we want our assault to come from. So that's step 5 on the leader's recon. Once we've done all that, we go back with all of our squad leaders in our RTO, our S&O remains, and we go back to the ORP to pick up the rest of the platoon. So now that we've identified everything, we can go back and tell our platoon sergeant where exactly everyone's going to go, and we give each one of those squad leaders a little bit of time to tell their squads where each one of them are going to go. Okay? So we go back. During this whole time, the platoon sergeant is doing the ruck plan, making sure PCCs, PCIs are complete, making sure everyone's camoed up, sure we have anything shiny on us that can give our position away, and make sure everyone's ready to go for the return of the platoon leader. Okay, so once he gets here, we should already have a ruck plan established. The ruck plan is usually done by the team leaders. So the Joes stay in place, the team leaders go pick up their rucks for them and place them. Usually it's in either a triangle or a square formation, something nice and tight, because you've got to usually leave a guard on your rucks. Minimum of 2 people. I recommend a fire team, though, because 2 people go to sleep very easily. So I'd recommend leaving a fire team with your rucks if you have to. Okay? Once we've got back here, we've given, updated our platoon sergeant what's going on. Each squad leader's had enough time to update their squads. We're going to move out in the order that we're going to establish our ambush, which is security, support, and then assault last. So that's how we're going to move out back to the release point. Remember, we're going to move to the release point. This is where everyone stays. It's out of sight and sound of the objective. Then the PL is going to go with the security squad leader and establish both security elements first. So he's going to go up and establish security. Probably it'd be a good idea to go to the side that you think the enemy is most likely to come from first, so you have warning. And then he's going to go and establish his second security element, come back to the release point, grab the support by fire. The support by fire is the next thing we establish. All right, he's going to establish the support by fire second. Why do we establish the support by fire before the assault? Because worst case scenario, if they come earlier than we thought, these are our most casualty producing weapons. This is probably who's going to kill the enemy. We want them to be able to shoot the enemy while we're still trying to get in position if we get compromised. It's important to have our guns in place before it is anything else. So this is our weapons squad. Okay? And then the last thing we do is we come back to the release point, we grab our assault squad, and we move them in position last to set up our assault element. Okay? So you see here we have 3rd squad is our security, 1st is our assault, 4th is our weapon squad. What do we have left over? We have 2nd squad. Now, remember I said leave a fire team over here. So you probably got a fire team from 2nd squad still at the ORP, which leaves us an extra fire team. Where can you place them? You can split them up between the assault and the support if you want. Maybe put your 249 over here since it's a machine gun. Maybe put a couple of riflemen here. Or you can put all of that fire team on support by fire, or you can put all of that fire team on assault. It's your choice. You can do whatever you want with it as long as you can explain the why of what you're doing. Now, we're going to talk real quick about a L-shaped versus a linear ambush, and I'll show you the difference before we actually go into initiation of the ambush. Okay? Now, the way we've got this set up now is an L-shape. Okay? An L-shaped ambush is quite different from a linear. So if this road continued this way, if we set up our support by fire here, all right, and our assault here, as you can see, they're next to each other. This is linear. Our kill zone may be here, which is the same size as that one, but you know, we're only going to be able to shoot pretty much in this direction to kill the enemy. We can only kill people that are inside that kill box no matter what. Now, if you come over here and look at the L shape, the way our guns are set up, if you look and see, hey, now we can actually kill people inside of our kill zone, but we can also kill people outside of our kill zone to either side. And now when you throw in the assaults fires on there as well, now you can see we have a good crossfire. We've caught the enemy getting shot at from multiple directions. So it's a lot nicer. This is what we strive for. We strive for an L shape because we can kill the enemy a whole lot easier in an L-shaped ambush versus this linear ambush, which only limits us to this area, if that makes sense. Okay? So that's the main difference between a linear and an L-shaped ambush. We always try to achieve an L shape though, because it's better for us tactically. It allows us to kill the enemy a whole lot easier than a linear ambush does. Okay? So, now, we've established our support, our security first, then our support, and our assault last. Now, we have to initiate this ambush. So, we're going to utilize the same thing we utilized in our lift and shift signals. Okay, we're going to utilize a pace plan. Pace plans are very important to have always. Now, most people initiate an ambush with a claymore. So pace as your primary is probably a good idea to initiate with your claymore. A claymore has a kill radius of between 35 and 45 degrees. You usually want to put it about 15 meters away from the road. The PL is the one who sets in the claymore. So the PL is going to low crawl up to this kill box and establish and set in the claymore where he wants to initiate the ambush. So our pace plan is probably going to be claymore. And then as we move to our alternate, we probably want to think about who is important for initiating this. It's probably the PL, right? The PL is the one who came up with this plan. So if he's the one we want to initiate this ambush, it doesn't matter whether we initiate with support by fire or assault on ambush. Either one of them can technically initiate it. But if the PL is the important person, if he's the one who makes the decision on when exactly I want to kill the enemy, then maybe the PL's M4 is a good way to initiate the ambush, because that way he knows exactly when it's going to get initiated and the enemy is exactly where he wants them to be. Okay? Then we can always have a contingency of radio. You can go whistle. You can go runner. Whatever you really want to do, whatever you have available to you at advanced camp is something that you want to try to tailor this to. So we have pace is primary. If I click the claymore and the PL didn't set it up right, maybe it doesn't go off. Then it goes PL's M4, and then radio, and then runner. And usually with a pace plan, maybe you want to try to initiate multiple ones of these at the same time. I.e., you could have the claymore, the PL clicking the claymore and telling the RTO to call up initiation on the radio at the same time if you really wanted to. That way you ensure it happens exactly where you want to have it. Because if the PL clicks the claymore, he can't really shoot while his M4 is on the ground. So there might be a little bit of delay. So you can utilize multiple one of these pace plans to actually make sure the initiation takes place. All right, once we've initiated, we're going to shoot for a mad minute. Okay, so 1 whole minute, everyone, both support by fire and assault, are shooting at the enemy inside of our kill zone. All right, once the mad minute is over, everyone stops and listens. Everyone's quiet and just listens. If you hear movement, groaning, moaning, people talking on the objective, you open up again and you shoot for another 30 seconds to maybe 1 minute shooting on the objective again, okay? You stop, you listen. If it happens again, you initiate again, all right? The whole point of an ambush is to kill the enemy, so that's what we're trying to do. After the first mad minute, if you hear nothing during your moment of silence there, listening, then the assault is going to pick up and assault through the objective online, okay? They're going to hit their LOA again. Remember, 35 meters outside of hand grenade range. Once they hit their LOA, we immediately go into our specialty teams. All right, we're not picking up the weapons squad, and they're not clearing across the road. You got to think, these guys, you have max effective range of a 240 on bipod, which is the bipod that connects to the 240, is about 900 meters. So if ideally they're between 600-700 meters, do I really want to pick them up and have them walk 700 meters and waste time on the ambush line? This is supposed to be fast. We need to kill them, get across, check them for intel real quick, and then leave the objective and go somewhere else. So we're only picking up with the assault line to establish the LOA. The support is not coming over to move, which is another reason why maybe putting that extra fire team from second squad is important on assault, because now I have more personnel to utilize EPW teams and aid and litter teams, okay? So once they establish their LOA, they do EPW clear first, then search, and aid and litter can go at the same time, okay? Once you get done, maybe you have a withdrawal plan, maybe you have a carry-on mission, but either way, this is the only thing you do. After you're done here, PL takes the report down, calls it up to the CO, and your ambush is complete.